What's up, everybody? This is Bill from HiFishGear. Like a lot of you who follow us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and every other platform we broadcast on, some of you have gotten our brand new Whip Sling XL, like I just did. This is the one that I picked out for myself. It's available in black. We also have it available in this olive green that you see here. And I just finished reorganizing my Whip Sling XL, consolidating all my gear from my previous whip sling. And I figured I'd take a minute, just kind of show you how I organized mine and show you some of the products that we sell to associate with the Whip Sling XL. As you can see, I have this over my shoulder like this. And you're going to want to try to get this pad that you see right here right on your shoulder, because otherwise you're going to have that strap rubbing up against your neck and you want to try to avoid it. Now, rather than disconnecting the clip and bringing it around, what you want to do is you just slide it around your body. Now you have your gear right here in front. You have access to all the pockets. Now I'm going to take the time and go through how I organized my whip sling and show you the reasons why I chose the gear that I have inside here. I have consolidated all my gear from my other two bags, and I have had the previous models. We still have these for sale, by the way. The standard whip sling, a little bit smaller. And then also a nice storage gear is the whip pack. Whipping, in case you don't know, in the state of Hawaii is a cast and retrieve fishing. It's a style of fishing. It's got its name from when you're casting that lure, that whip, that snapping of the rod, that's the reason why we kind of call it whipping. And we wanted to get a nice accessory line for whipping, a tackle storage system that would be like an all-in-one bag for this style of fishing. When you're out on the reef, you don't want to be carrying a whole lot of gear. You want to consolidate all your gear into one bag. When we brought in the samples of these, this tended to be the most popular among a lot of the HFG staff, including Jesse and Wallace. They all gravitated towards this because they knew they're more whippers than I am. And they knew that they were going to need a big bag to carry the type of gear that they wanted. So I have put in all my gear based on the two rods that you see in front of me. And these are my personal rods. I have two different styles of rods here. I have my 10'6" Tika salmon steelhead with a Stratic FJ, which is an older model. This is the first brand new spinning reel I've ever bought. And it's still rocking to this day. This reel is about probably 8 years old, and it is still cherry. It was at one point a 4K, and I upgraded with the handle and the spool to a 5K. The 4K and the 5K on most Stratic reels are compatible. Handle and spool you could interchange. So somebody came in with a broken 5K, and I took the parts from it. I got the spool and the handle. Now I have a nice 5K. It's bringing a whole new life to this reel. I've got it spooled up with 30-pound test tightline braid, premium tightline braid that we sell on HiFishGear.com. My second rod is a special rod to me too, because it's the one and only Stella that I own. And just like the Stratic, this is an older model Stella. And of course it has a Gomexus upgraded knob on it. I was having a really hard time debating what new rod I wanted. And I went back and forth. Should I choose a rod that is like 1/2 ounce, 3/8, or should I choose a rod that's 3/4? And this rod came up on auction on our HiFishGear deals page on Facebook. I was getting ready to auction it when I realized, why is there two tips to this rod? And then I realized it actually has two different tips because there's two different actions. One's a medium light, and that one's rated up to 3/8 of an ounce. The next one is medium, and that's a little bit stiffer, and that one's rated up to 3/4. And I'm like, that is exactly what I was looking for, a rod that does two different things. The small tip is rated up to 3/8 of an ounce, and the bigger tip is rated up to 3/4, which means that I can cast some of my favorite gear, including HammerBombs unleaded. So these are the two main rods that I go whipping with, and let me show you the gear that I put into my Whip Sling XL. I'll start with kind of how I organize the compartments. There's this top pouch right here on the top, and this top pouch is where I'm going to be keeping my phone, my truck keys, and my wallet. And like I said, just up here on the top, you got your wallet, you got your keys, you got your phone. I'm going to go ahead and keep them just in one little area and not kind of mess around with it too much. I'm just going to leave that there so I know where they always are. I don't have to go fishing through my bag if I hear my phone ringing. I know exactly it's right here and I can go ahead and answer it. Let's move into the main pouch. And the main pouch is the place that has the most storage. And right now I have tucked away my HFG leader line organizer kit with 4 different spools of line. I'll go through the line here in just a minute and show you a little bit more about the organizer kit. But the internal component has space for 2 of these. This is the Plano 3600 storage container. And as you can see, it's big. It is 12 inches tall. And you can carry a lot of big gear, which is really convenient. And even with that just in there, I still have enough space in case I want to bring something else with me, like, say, for instance, a lunch, something else I want to bring with me, maybe some lures I can tuck into there. So it's got a lot of room for me, which is kind of why I'm really digging this bag right now. And I'll go through some of this gear here in just a minute after I get everything out. That big compartment is major, though. This next compartment is where I'm going to be keeping my grubs, my flies, and some assorted tackle. I have in here a Plano, I think it's a 3449. It's a smaller planer container, and I have just a little taste of some of the grubs that I have. And this is some bigger grubs, some smaller grubs. And then I've got a few different assortments of some hooks. I have some BKNs, I have some 189s, and I also got some gold MZs in case I feel like I want to try some bait or something on my whipping setup. So I've got curly tails in this one. And then on this side, I've got my little fly container. And this was courtesy of Hanapa Lures. One of his last orders, he sent me some flies to use. And I've got a little assortment of some of the flies that we've sold through the years. You might recognize a few of them. The brand new Owama fly that we're carrying. You got some Hanapa poppers. You've got a high tide flies. Hinalea brush fly. It was really nice. I really like that one a lot. You got some Three Kings. Then you also have one of those jointed black flies from Brada. I forgot his name right now. And then of course you have a Reef Rager from Hanapa flies too. That's a little, I forgot what it's called. I think it's Mardi Gras or something like that. It had a little red, yellow, green, kind of a cool one. And then it's just a nice little fly case that we don't carry, but Hanapa flies threw in one for me, and I still carry it. Mahalo once again, Brian, for the little fly case. And then, of course, I have another little, in case I'm ever doing some glow fly fishing or something, I have a little assortment of just random glow flies from a lot of different companies, including Kahakai, some of his glow squids and stuff like that. So that's pretty much all I really need to fish. There's an external pouch in here, and that's where I carry my my casting glove. And you may have seen me use this in a few different videos. I'm not going to talk about that right now because we actually have these coming out pretty soon. We've got a big order of them coming in. You're going to be able to get one of those casting gloves. We'll talk about it all when we get those in. But right now, it's in here in the front pouch, and that's where I keep it. That's where I'm going to be taking it up. I always know where it is. I'm going to be taking it out of there, putting it back in. I've also got a little bit of a kit in here. In the front pouch is where I'm going to be stashing. Oh, I think I put it in the back pouch. My bad. I always like to keep a couple pairs of rubber gloves or something. And rubber gloves are just in case I'm handling a real slimy fish or something. And there's a little kit that I don't have in here, but I like to carry a little first aid kit that has some Band-Aids, a little antiseptic or something in case I get a little owie that I need to take care of myself. So that's all the gear that I got stashed inside of it. And on the outside of this, I've got my HFG stainless steel scissors. It's kind of almost like a dual pair of scissors. You can pull out hooks with it. You can use it as a split ring. You can cut braid. You can cut mono. Stainless steel, saltwater resistant. And now I've got it on a brand new tackle keeper from HiFishGear. And that is a shielded cable, 110-pound test. It has a key ring on one side that perfectly matches with the HFG stainless steel scissors. And then, of course, it has a little carabiner that matches up really nicely with this pouch on the side here. You can put in bigger pliers if you want, or it has a little pouch where you can slide your scissors in and a little Velcro strap to keep it in. All shielded. I should have these scissors for a very long time. I'm notorious for losing scissors, stealing scissors from Wallace, not giving them back, and then eventually replacing them. But finally, I've got my own. I know where they're at. They're going to be right there on the edge of my whip pack. Now let's go through some of the gear that I selected for in my main compartment. And I'll tell you which rod they're for. So, as you guys may know, I'm the designer of HammerBombs. I'm not one of the guys that makes them, but we have a crew of guys that makes them. I design them. I provide them with the products and everything. And what I have here is one of my personal favorite products. And this one I've had for quite a while. It is just tossed. It's just dinged up. I've had this one for over a year, and I've cast it hundreds of times. That is a HammerBomb unleaded, 1.75 ounces, and that is perfectly matched to my favorite whipping rod, which is the 10'6" Tikka Salmon Steelhead, rated up to 1.75 ounces. I designed this HammerBomb specifically for this rod because I'm so familiar with it. I've been using this rod, not specifically this rod, but this model of rod for over 10 years. I even had the old blue one. Now it's the brown one that you're familiar with. And I just love the rod so much. It's the perfect length. It's the perfect action. I can bomb stuff like this out uh, 70, 80 yards, and I can cover a whole lot of ground. That's the HammerBomb unleaded that I designed for that. And also I carry some bubbles just in case I need a little bit of topwater action. And then I also have the brand new HammerBomb Rattle Bomb with the little red dot on it. A little bit of shake, you can hear that rattle in there, a little bit of noise, a little bit of pop. I have that, two big bubbles. Now the smaller stuff that you see over here is for my secondary rod, rated up to 3/4 of an ounce. I usually use the beefier one a little bit more, but that is a 3/4 ounce unleaded HammerBomb. I also have a little high vis yellow one in here. Those are all unleadeds in there. I've got some small bubbles in case I want to throw some flies on that. I use my HammerBombs for flies mostly and grubs, but then just every once in a while you want to mix it up. You want to have some stuff in your arsenal. You want to have some bubble floats. You also want to have some egg lead. I've got 3/4. I'm not really prone to throwing egg lead on my Tikka, so I have the 3/4 for the other rod just in case I ever really want to work the bottom in a sandy area. I've got that available. And then I've also got a 5/8 of an ounce lure that I just had. I kind of figured it'd be nice to have a lure always on hand just in case. I've got some, these are actually the HFG. When we were out of the Hawaiian Angler Glowflies, we had Jesse make a bunch of these. They're very popular. Some people keep asking and waiting for them to come back. I talked to Jesse. He might be making more. HFG, not rainbow flies, but they're just HFG Glowflies. Handmade, locally made in Hawaii. And I carry these because I like to always, this is a universal fly. It's good for papio, it's good for mipachi, it's good for a veil. It's got the colors that everything bites, and I always keep a little bit of this always in my tackle bag. I've got some swivels in here that I use for the bubble floats and the egg lead. And then, of course, I've got some Mark White lures. I've got a 3/4 ounce taco bar, and then I've also got a 1.5 ounce 1.5 ounce Oama surface plug. That's for the Tikka. The 3/4, of course, is for the Fenwick. And of course, I'll be adding some more gear as we go along. Maybe a couple more lures to mix in there. Maybe some casting spoons and things like that. But this is what I currently had in my other bags. I figured I consolidated it all down to one. I have my leader organizer right here, and I'm kind of a leader connoisseur. I've used a lot of different leaders, and I have like a nice little mix-up. I have 50-pound test. This one I would probably use on the leader for, say, for instance, the Mark White, or sometimes I use this for dunking. It's just part of my leader collection that I have. I've got 40, I've got 30 in Yozuri, but right now on this roll, I have the 50, and the 50 is mainly just for casting the lures. Maybe the 1.5 Mark White. I'll either run 30 or 40-pound test leader on that, tied to a swivel or tied onto the joined to the braided line coming off my reel. And these are the ones that I use the most. I've got a 20-pound test. I normally have J-line 20-pound test, just the plain clear, but right now I've got this Daiwa. I wanted to test it out. And I use it for sometimes some bottom. This is what I use for when I'm tying flies and stuff. And it looks like one loop came off of my leader organizer, which is not a problem because now I can just basically do that and wind it all back on. The leader organizer kit comes with this nice little hook to help you organize it. And then it also comes with these rubber bands that help you keep your line on your spool. And then also you can peel it off. You can wind it around and put your line back on. Make sure you stop before so you don't have to spool it back through the rubber band. But it helps keep your line super organized, super neat. Very popular on HiFishGear.com. We've probably sold half of 1,000, 500 plus on HiFishGear. You guys are loving them. It's a great product. usually meant for fly fishermen, but I knew that it would be applied to the way that we fish here. Once again, shout out to Wallace for finding it, suggesting it, and making it a hit. I appreciate that, brother. All right, so the next one I got is 15-pound test. This is my universal line. I can use it for lighter flies. I can use it for curly tails. And then my last one is, you got to have this as a staple. It's just a 10. So as you see, 10, 15, 20, and then something heavier. I'll probably switch this out to maybe a 30 or a 40, but 50 is what I had for my dunking rig, and I figured I'd just leave it on there because sometimes I like to go dunking as well. You stack these onto your leader organizer. You turn it sideways, you poke it through, slide it up. Here's my 15. Poke it through, slide it up. Here's my 20. Poke it through, slide it up. Here's my 50. I won't say it again. And then when you have this little bit of slack, you basically just take your thing, wrap it around until it gets nice and tight. And I had it in my bag, but it actually clips on very well to the outside of the bag. You can put it up on the top, or you can hang it off one of the clips on the bottom. So if you have other gear that you usually take with you, whether it's a when it's hanging off the side, it'll be really nice. If you've got, say, for a fish lip gripper or something, you can clip it onto here. It has a lot of different pockets. There's some pockets I haven't even used, like this one in the back, which is wide open. It has a little Velcro to keep stuff in there. But I didn't want to, oh, I have all the extra straps and stuff that comes with it tucked into there. I'll have to make sure I take that out next time before I go whipping. But that's it, my little review of my Whip Sling XL and all the gear that I chose to put in it. There are product links in this video. And if you like this kind of content, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll definitely make another video. We've had some people ask me, Bill, you should make a video showing all your rods and reels, and I may just do that if this video gets 2,000 views, which is not bad. That's usually our standard. But make sure you like it. Make sure you comment on the bottom if you guys got any questions about the products. Please go ahead and comment. We're always checking comments. We're always trying to answer. We're always trying to help. That's what we're all about here at HiFishGear.com. And if you do like our channel, please support us by visiting HiFishGear.com, where you can pick up the Whip Sling XL. You can pick up, not that, because Brian, all right, okay, but we got the leader organizers. We got Plano containers. We've got HammerBombs, bubble floats, swivels, hooks, all kinds of good grubs and things like that. All right, mahalo for watching, and aloha.
You're working all week and you no more time to fill your tackle box. Just go online to HiFishGear.com and buy your fishing stuff.